Welcome to Bits of Java. Let's talk about interfaces. So I've got this button clicker app on Android, and it says click me, and the idea is I want to increase the score when I click on it. So I'm going to click on it a bunch right now, and nothing's happening at all. The score is not going up. And that's because I haven't set up any functionality to do that. Now, when I click a button in this app, its response should be that the score goes up. But if I click another button in a different app, I shouldn't get the same effect. I shouldn't be saying some score variable goes up. If I click a button on, an email app, then maybe it's going to compose a new email. Or if I click a button, it might unfriend somebody. So clicking a button is different for each instance of a button that I have. Like the effects are different. But to make things simple and unifying, you have something called an interface that says, well, if you want to listen for a button click, then you better listen this particular way. So I'm going to make this activity, which is a screen in Android, implement this on-click listener. Now, this on-click listener, when I make it implement this on-click listener, that means view.onClick listener is an interface. When I hover over this, it says class main activity must be declared abstract or implement abstract method on-click view in the on-click listener. What's actually going on here? If I were to write out what's actually inside this on-click listener, actually, I'm going to go ahead and go to here, view.onClick listener. Here it is. So view.onClick listener is an interface, and it has one method, onClick, and it accepts some kind of view as its argument. And notice this is abstract because it doesn't tell us how to do it. It just says if you want to be an onClick listener, then you must tell us what to do when the view has been clicked. So that's what it says that I didn't implement this abstract method because there's no body to this method. So let me implement the method. And this method down here, public void onClick, this is the method that I have to define. So what do I do? Well, I want to increase my score. And then I want to make the text views text show up as score and then whatever the value of the score is. So I update my score and I'll set the text view to display the score. So that's what this particular button will do. I'll go ahead and run this so we can see it in action. Actually, there's one more thing I forgot up here. Android specific thing, don't really worry about it. Score text view set on click listener to this. What's happening is we're saying that the current activity is going to be the object that's listening for this text view because we said this activity is implementing view on click listener, so it is this activity that is doing the listening for this particular, it's not the text view, the button. Why my button? Private button. Let me wire my button real fast. Button equals button .id dot button. All right, there we go. And then the button, so onClick listener. Okay, now let's go ahead and run it. Should work now. So now I click on it, and this is what happens when we click on the button. A score goes up when we go ahead and change the text. What this interface actually would look like, it would look like this. It would look like public interface onClick listener, and then inside of it, ignore the error for now, inside of it would just say public, it's not public, let's say void onClick view v and have a semicolon. And the reason for that, I have a semicolon here, is this interface doesn't tell you how to do it. It just says you must handle clicks in some way. You must describe how you will react to a click. And depending on the application you're running, you're going to react to a click differently in each case. Now, it would also be written as this public abstract void onClick, because in an interface, all methods are public and abstract by default in interfaces. And you notice is grayed out. However, this, it says modifier public is redundant for interface methods because, yeah, like if it's already public and abstract by default, then we don't have to write it. Same thing with the however abstract, it says redundant for interface methods because programmers want to save some typing, and so you just don't have to write it. So that's the idea behind an interface. Interface allows one to have an agreement that you all have some kind of uniform, not behavior, but way of accessing behavior. So anything that implements an onClick listener, we know is guaranteed to have an onClick. Now, what it does from there, that's going to change from place to place. But we know we can always call this onClick method, and something would happen. So that's the idea behind interfaces.